Allah is my heart's speech. Your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى لا سيما المصطفى صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. Brothers and sisters and dear viewers, welcome back. Welcome once again to another live edition of your program Ask Huda. And inshallah, today is our 23rd day during the blessed month of Ramadan. I would like to remind you with our phone numbers, area code 002-0238-555-131 or 132. We have a few pending questions while waiting for your calls. The first question was the elaboration on the night of the decree and the night of the great value. That is indeed, we started in the last episode, but we got tied up with many other questions that were delivered during calls. When Allah the Almighty said in the Quran, إِنَّا أَنزَلْنَاهُ فِي لَيْلَةِ الْقَدْرِ, and al-qadr with jazm or sukoon on the letter dal, it indicates the great value. So it is the grand night. It is the greatest night of the year. Why is it the greatest night? Because Allah the Almighty says, تَنَزَّلُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ وَالرُّوحُ فِيهَا بِإِذْنِ رَبِّهِمْ مِنْ كُلِّ أَمْرٍ سَلَامٌ هِيَ حَتَّى مَطْلَعِ الْفَجْرِ. This most blessed night is the same night on which Allah the Almighty delivers the decrees of the entire upcoming year to the angels, the commands of what they have to execute over the next year. That's called تَنَزَّلُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ وَالرُّوحُ فِيهَا بِإِذْنِ رَبِّهِمْ مِنْ كُلِّ أَمْرٍ. So also it is the night of the decree, not the decree in general, but the decree with regards to executing what Allah the Almighty decrees to the angels over during this night to be executed over the next year. So some of the scholars said Laylatul Qadr means the night of the great value, and some says it is the night of the decree. And in fact, it is both, based on the fact that it is the greatest night of the year, and also Allah the Almighty reveals to the angels the decree of what they have to do with the ibad over the next year. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Shayan from Pakistan, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. How are you?
I'm fine, alhamdulillah. Thank you for asking, brother. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, shukr, alhamdulillah. Sheikh, I would like to thank you and the team of Ask Huda for giving us such a wonderful program in the holy month of Ramadan, and may Allah bless you all for giving us, taking us time out for asking our questions.
Ameen.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, brother.
Sheikh, I have one question.
No.
It's regarding a zakah. My sister, she has purchased a land on installments and given certain installments like 4 or 5 installments, but the total installments are 20. And she will get the land in her name after 3-4 years. So she has to pay zakah on the amount she has paid or the amount of the value which is today, because the property value has increased significantly as far as the land is concerned. So I just want to know that.
Okay. Any other questions?
Just dua and prayers for all of you.
Sure. Jazakallah khairan. Thank you, Shayan from Pakistan. Brother Sayyid from Oman.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Sheikh, I've got 2 questions. My first question is with regards to Laylatul Qadr, Sheikh.
Yeah.
2 neighboring countries and one country actually starts Ramzan a day earlier, another country starts Ramzan a day later. And they say the last 10 nights of Ramadan, any one of the nights is the night for Laylatul Qadr. So will it be the country who's starting late might be missing the Laylatul Qadr if the country starting early is starting, they're like, I hope you got my question.
I got it perfectly.
Yeah, and the second question is, Sheikh, what is the ruling on wearing a wristwatch which has got a small amount of gold within, which is concealed within the watch itself, and that gold is actually used to run the mechanism of the watch, not actually to show off by wearing the watch, but it is concealed. It's a part of gold because of the way it functions.
Okay.
That's it, Sheikh.
Got your question, brother Sayyid. Sister Farhana from the KSA. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Farhana.
Wa alaikum salam, Sheikh. How are you, Sheikh?
Fine, alhamdulillah. Welcome to the program, Sister Farhana.
Thank you so much. Sheikh, I have two questions. My first question is, and this has been worrying me for a long time, if Allah has decided to forgive our sins, then do we feel His mercy in the grave itself, or do we have to wait for this acceptance until the day of judgment and experience what we deserve in the grave until then?
Okay.
My second question is, I'm sorry I've missed a few episodes, that's why I'm asking you this question. Can I pray one witr, and when do I pray the kunut? And the third question is, I've talked to you about this before. My husband and my sons, they are not very regular with their prayers. Is there any dua that I can supplicate to the Almighty Allah, asking Him to soften their hearts so that they can realize the importance of salah? Jazakallah khair, ya Sheikh. Jazakallah.
Wajazakum, Sister Farhana. Thank you for being very precise and to the point. Since I was talking about Laylatul Qadr and its virtues, and whether it is the grand night or it is the night of the decree, Brother Sayyid, he's a second caller though, but he said that since some countries started Ramadan a day earlier than other countries, and you guys tell us in the hadith that the Prophet ﷺ said, التمسوها في العشر الأواخر في الوتر من العشر الأواخر, which means you should seek Laylatul Qadr and look for it. It is one of the nights of the last nights of Ramadan, particularly the odd nights. يعني the night of the 21st, the night of the 23rd, or the 25th, 27th, or the 29th. So since some countries started a day before other countries, that means maybe this country is right, maybe this country is right. So now the odd has become even and the even has become odd. It's confusing. What to do? Every year I say, I know for sure how to witness Laylatul Qadr, 100%. I know certainly when is it Laylatul Qadr. It is one of the last 10 nights of Ramadan. I make no distinction. When I say I here, I do not necessarily talking about my personal practice. I'm talking about as a believer. This is what a believer should perceive Laylatul Qadr and learn and find out what he should do in order to witness Laylatul Qadr. Since it is the last 10 nights, I do not look for an odd or even. They're all great, they're all important. In fact, Akhi Sayyid from Oman, there is another hadith in which the Prophet ﷺ said, you should seek it لِتِسْعٍ بَقَيْنِ لِسَبْعٍ بَقَيْنِ. Oh my God, now the odd has become even. According to this hadith, even if all the Muslim countries started on the same day, and we know which odd and which even. This hadith says you should seek it in the odd nights, in the remaining 9 nights, in the remaining 7 nights, in the remaining 5 nights, which means we gotta wait until the month is over to find out whether the month was 29 days or 30 days. So if it is 30 days, then we're talking about the odd as odd. But if it is 29, then the odd has become even. Which means again, tonight, alhamdulillah, is going to be, according to most of the Muslim countries, the night of the 24th. Today is the 23rd day of Ramadan. Last night, the night precedes the day, it was accordingly an odd night. A true believer and a person who really appreciates the value of Laylatul Qadr A person who doesn't want to take chances doesn't make any difference or distinction between this night and that night. إذا دخل العشر, Aisha radiallahu anha said, once the 10 nights of Ramadan would enter, the Prophet ﷺ would declare emergency, fasten his waist belt, will keep up all night, all the ashr. That's why he used to observe i'tikaf. So my advice is, Brother Sayyid, on every single night, how many nights left, brothers and sisters? 6 nights? We should not waste this opportunity. Only Allah knows who would survive till next year to witness another Ramadan. May Allah make it easy for all of us to witness the blessed night of Laylatul Qadr. Assalamu alaikum. Sister Sally from Egypt, Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. How are you, Sheikh?
Fine, alhamdulillah. Thank you for asking and welcome to the program.
Okay, I have one question. Since the beginning of the Ramadan, I have started to read Quran, and I'm planning, inshallah, to finish the whole Quran. But unfortunately, since yesterday, I was not able to fast. So how will I finish the Quran? And
I got your question.
How? Yes, since the beginning of Ramadan, I have started to read Quran from the beginning.
I got it. I got your question, Sally. Do you have another question?
As in my circumstance, how will?
Assalamu alaikum. I think we lost you. Okay, please try again, Sister Sally. I got your first question. And this is a question that I would say most of the sisters inquire about, that during Ramadan, since the period starts or the menses, they cannot fast, they cannot pray. So what about the tradition of reciting Quran on daily basis? That will take us to the difference of opinion between the scholars, where we have the vast majority of the ulama and the jurists who are of the view that women during their menses won't be able to touch nor read the Quran, even by heart. While Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah and many others who adopted his view said that there is not a single reference that says it is forbidden for women during their menses to recite the Quran. So if you follow this opinion, then you can recite on a regular basis even during the menses, yet do not hold the Quran with bare hands. Like if you read the Quran from your smart device, from your tab, that's also permissible according to the view of Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah and his student Ibn al-Qayyim and many other scholars. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother Sulaiman from the KSA.
How are you, Sheikh? What a pleasure.
Fine, alhamdulillah. Thank you for asking, Sulaiman.
May Allah accept all your prayers.
Same to you. Allahumma ameen. Ameen. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for your team. I have one question.
Yeah?
There are 1.5 billion Muslims in the world.
5 billion? You're talking about most of the human beings. There is approximately 6 to 7 billion human beings. The population of Muslims is 1.6 approximately. Anyway, what is your question? Suleiman? Okay. Please try again. Al-Hadi from Sudan. Assalamu alaikum. Okay. Al-Hadi, please try again. No problem. Suleiman and Al-Hadi. Okay. Now, Shayan from Pakistan. His sister purchased a lot, and she made some payments already, and she still owes about another 20 payments. Her question is, which part is zakatable? The property itself, or whatever she had paid already, or the remaining amount? And in fact, whatever you have paid is not zakatable, and the property itself is not used yet, and so you do not pay any zakah on it. Even if it becomes yours and the title is in your pocket, you have a full possession of the property and you do not owe anything on it. There is no zakah on the property or the lot, unless if you have purchased it for the purpose of trade and business. A lot of people are into real estate investment. So instead of keeping their money sitting in the bank or perhaps collecting a haram interest, they put their money, they invest in the real estate. They buy properties, they develop it, or they buy flats or buildings for the purpose of the resale. If this is the intention from the beginning, then the property itself has a value. This value is zakatable. Like a grocery store. The merchant has a lot of items. At the time of paying zakah on his wealth, he would have to estimate the goods and how much are their values, so that he will pay the zakah on the value as well, because these items mean money. So now, since you are not in the business and you bought the property for a reason or another, it's not zakatable, unless if it was for mere business to resell it. Okay? So what is zakatable then? Any position that you already have of money that you are planning to pay in the future, as long as you have not paid it yet, and today you're supposed to pay your zakah, you pay the zakah on everything that you have, including the money which is due in the future for the payments towards the property. Why? Because you still possess this amount and it is with you, whether sitting in the bank or in your pocket or at home. That's your money. So it is zakatable. Barakallahu feek, Brother Shayan, and may Allah bless your sister. Brother Hamza from Gambia.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Alaykum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hamza.
Yes, I have a question, sir.
No.
I had some pain on my shoulder.
Okay.
So I went to the hospital, but I'm taking injections in the evening. I was asking, is it possible while fasting, can I take injections during the day for the pain? And the injections I'm taking, they are diclofenac and Bico injections.
Okay.
That's my question. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, you can take an injection. It is preferable to be IM, intramuscular, as a painkiller or anti-inflammatory while fasting, in order to overcome the pain. That is permissible, and that would not invalidate your fasting. Jazakallahu khairan, Hamza. I think this question would really concern a lot of people. Those who have tooth extract or root canal or any pain of any sort, they love to maintain fasting. Meanwhile, they cannot overcome the pain. I had one of our colleagues, he had to leave work yesterday because of the migraine. Sometimes it is killing the person who is having this ache or this pain. So taking an injection would not invalidate your fasting, inshallah. Sister Farhana from the KSA, she asked that if Allah the Almighty forgives us, are we going to experience this forgiveness and the effect of this forgiveness, which is the mercy, in the grave, or do we have to wait until we see it on the Day of Judgment? No, you shall experience this as soon as a person is approaching the end of his life, because the joy and the delight, or the pain and the sorrow, will be experienced once the person is lying down on his deathbed. يعني, as we studied in the long hadith, إن العبد المؤمن إذا كان في انقطاع من الدنيا وإقبال من الآخرة, whenever it is for the case of a believer who is departing this life and approaching the next life, the angels would come down from heaven and would sit next to him. The angels would bring beautiful fragrance and nice coffin, and their faces will be bright, and they will assure the person that there should not be any fear upon you, nor should you grieve. And Allah the Almighty referred to that in Surah Fussilat and in Surah Al-Ahqaf as well. In Surah Fussilat, He said, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ قَالُوا رَبُّنَا اللَّهُ ثُمَّ اسْتَقَامُوا تَتَنَزَّلُ عَلَيْهِمُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ أَلَّا تَخَافُوا وَلَا تَحْزَنُوا وَأَبْشِرُوا بِالْجَنَّةِ الَّتِي كُنْتُمْ تُوعَدُونَ. So the bishara and the glad tidings begin from the moment that the person is ready to depart this life. That's why the Prophet ﷺ said, whenever the person dies, and his family and his friends are carrying his body towards the graveyard. He is calling upon them, but they cannot hear him, saying, hurry, take me quickly. Why? Because he have seen and he have experienced at the time of death, at the time of extracting his or her soul, that they will have a beautiful fate and a bright future. So they want to rush. While in the case of a wicked person, he will keep saying, woe to me, where are you taking me? Slow down, don't take me there. So this experience of joy and delight, or may Allah protect us against his anger and his torment, will be realized soon as the person is lying down on his deathbed, and soon as the angels descend to give the person either the bishara and the support, or to say, that is the day which you have been warned against. فَتَفَرَّقَ فِي جَسَدِهِ. So the soul will disperse in the body, trying to disappear and hide, but it will be extracted in a very violent way. May Allah protect us against that. Assalamu alaikum. Brother Muhammad from the KSA.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Brother Muhammad.
Sheikh, I have a question.
No.
I work for a company here in Saudi Arabia. It's called Aramco Company, oil company it is. And they have a saving plan. It is called Employees Thrift Plan, which is 50% of employee share and company put 50% of the share.
Okay.
So if we get a loan on this plan, the company is charging for all employees a 2 to 3% charge, depending on the month, which is. So they call it as a service charge, and it is not compound charge. Is it allowed to take this loan from the company?
How can a service charge be based on percentage? A service charge to process any paperwork or any contract should be fixed. It should not be a percentage, right? But if you decided to buy more shares, so if you decided to borrow more money, they will charge you more. That's 3%.
No, it is fixed. It is fixed.
If it is fixed, then it's not 3%.
Yeah, it is 3%, 3.1%, 3.2%, like that.
That is called percentage. The service charge, if it is not fixed, they will say, for every contract, for every transaction, we will charge you 2,000 riyal. This is a service charge. But they say, if you borrow 100 grands, the service charge is 3%, right?
Yeah.
So that is 3,000.
And
if you make it 200,000, if you make it 200, that's 6,000. If you make it 3, that's 9,000, right?
And my second question is, hello?
Yes, go ahead.
My second question is, the bank in Saudi Arabia, they said it is Sharia compliant loan. Is it allowed? Because they gave a letter from Sheikh that it is allowed and Sharia compliant.
Okay, I got your question.
Okay, thank you, Sheikh. Jazakallah khair.
Wajazakum, barakallah fikum. I have a typical answer to this question because a lot of people call. We have in the States a lot of small banks. They bear that name. It is Sharia compliant bank, or what really matters is, and what would really decide whether this is a Sharia compliant and whether the transaction is lawful or not is the nature of the transaction itself. Actions speak louder than words. Yani, okay, when I come to borrow from you in order to do an investment, or because my son or your daughter or whoever is in need for an operation or tuition or whatever, are you going to give me the loan with no interest at the time of paying it back? That's called la riba. There is no riba. But riba usually is, as the scholars defined it, كل قرض جر نفعا فهو ربا. When you borrow any amount of money at the time of payment, if you agreed beforehand that you have to pay anything extra, this is a typical riba. So you need to look into the transaction. Okay, we raise a lot of banners nowadays Okay, and what really decide whether it is legal or illegal is not the statement of one person here or one person there. I myself, if I say something today, and then one of the viewers say, Wallahi, what you said yesterday was wrong and there is a proof, then dismiss my opinion, neglect it. It's false, it's wrong, because the reference is what Allah the Almighty said, and the reference is what has been proven to be sound as far as the statement of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Assalamu alaikum. Brother Saeed from United Arab Emirates.
Hello, assalamu alaikum, brother.
Alaykum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Brother, mashallah, thank you very much for answering the questions.
Jazakallahu khairan.
I want to ask you one question that is related to the previous question, and it's regard to the zakatul mal.
Yeah.
I am into trading of machinery, and but it was not clear with the previous question that you answered. Do I have to give the zakat on the value that I purchased, or the value the selling price? And the selling,
wonderful.
Because I've not sold it yet, the machines.
Wonderful.
And this, sorry?
Yeah, wonderful. I got your question.
Yes. And for example, these kind of items like machinery take very long to sell.
Yeah.
Do I have to give zakah on every year, or until I sell the product?
Okay. Jazakallah
khair.
Naam.
Mashkur, jazakallah khair.
Afwan. Tasneem from Oman. Assalamu alaikum.
Salam, Sheikh.
How are you, Sister Tasneem?
Jazakallah khairan for asking. Alhamdulillah. How are you, Sheikh?
Fine, alhamdulillah. Barakallah fiki. Go ahead.
I wanted to ask, is hypnosis allowed in our religion?
Okay.
I read...
What is the method? What is the method?
Sorry?
What is the method that is used for hypnosis?
To cure someone of bad habits
I know.
or depression?
I'm talking about the method which is used, because you can use hypnotics, which is drugs. You're talking about like...
Clinical hypnotherapy.
Okay, hypnotherapy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're most welcome. Brother Muhammad from the KSA, Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. I'm in Saudi Arabia now. I'm from South Africa. I need to find out the witr prayer. I follow the Hanafi madhab. Do I follow the Imam in Taraweeh as well, or do I pray my separate witr?
Okay.
Jazakallah khair.
Yeah, Muhammad. Thank you for asking this question. Follow the Imam. Whether you are Hanafi or Shafi'i or Maliki, these differences of opinion between the fiqh schools do not differentiate between Muslims whatsoever. And if I studied a Hanafi madhab from my childhood until I graduated, then I figured out that there is a more right opinion in a particular mas'ala, I should follow it immediately, because by the end I'm following Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If I bring you a proof that one of the Sahaba did whatever, one of At-Tabi'een did whatever, but there is a hadith, this is what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam did, it's over. It abrogates any other view, any other opinion. So if you are, I tell you, whenever I travel to the countries which are strictly following the Shafi'i madhab, and they do qunut in Fajr, like in Malaysia and Singapore and Indonesia and these countries, I join the Imam. إِنَّمَا جُعِلَ الْإِمَامُ لِيُؤْتَمَّ بِهِ. Okay, if I'm the Imam, I do not do qunut in Fajr, I do qunut in Witr. Okay? If you are following the Imam, whether in the Haram or anywhere, and you're Hanafi, where you pray the 3 rak'ahs all together, and you have in the middle sitting like Maghrib exactly, only Imam Abu Hanifa adopts this view, by the way. The vast majority of the scholars are of the view that you should not pray which like Maghrib. There is a hadith in this regard. You can either pray the 3 rak'ahs all together with 1 tashahhud and taslim by the end, or you can pray 2 rak'ahs, tashahhud and taslim, then you pray 1 rak'ah by itself. Whatever your view is, whatever your madhab is, you follow the Imam who is leading the prayer. And When you say, or should I pray it by myself, you are wasting in this case a great reward, because the hadith says those who pray with their imam until he concludes the prayer, until he wraps it up, until he finishes, will receive the reward of praying for the entire night. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us this great reward and guide us what is best. We'll take a short break and we'll be back inshallah in a few minutes. Please stay tuned.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لقد رضي الله عن المؤمنين إذ يبايعونك تحت الشجرة فعلم ما في قلوبهم فأنزل السكينة عليهم وأثابهم فتحا قريبا ومغانم كثيرة يأخذونها وكان الله عزيزا حكيما.
Who was Qarun? What was the Prophet Muhammad's relationship with his wife like? How did the Prophet Muhammad deal with the accusations that were directed towards his wife? How did Musa travel with Al-Khidr, and what was the relationship like, and what did they learn together? What are the important, practical, relevant meanings behind the story? We're going to be going through Quranic stories together. I'm your brother Hussam Hilal, and the purpose of this program on Huda TV, inshallah, is to learn and understand the Quran in a better way that will aid in our memorization and implementation and our understanding. I look forward to joining you on this show. Barakallahu feekum.
أفلا يتدبرون القرآن ولو كان من عند غير الله لوجدوا فيه اختلافا كثيرا.
We all know that a person's iman increases and decreases, and the best way to increase your iman is through the Quran.
To contemplate, to reflect, to ponder over the verses of the Quran.
أفلا يتدبرون القرآن ولو كان من عند غير الله لوجدوا فيه اختلافا كثيرا.
In this program, we will listen to the Quran first, and that should soften our hearts. And then once we get to know the meanings and contemplate over these meanings, then we can change by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
ولا يأتونك بمثل إلا جئناك بالحق وأحسن تفسيرا. ولا يأتونك بمثل إلا جئناك بالحق وأحسن تفسيرا.
Join us this Ramadan for Quran Circle 2.
Robber, a thief, very famous at his time. He was in love with one girl, and he had the habit of sneaking into her house some way and watching her, observing her for some time. And in night, he would go and attack caravans, Hajj caravans, travelers, and he would strip them of their property and the wealth and their belongings. He was notorious to the extent that a lot of the caravans most of the time would change route to avoid that area. One night he climbs up the wall of the house of that girl that he loves, and he sneaks into the house, and as he was making his way into the house, someone was praying Qiyam al-Layl. Someone was standing before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and praying at night alone. reciting the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, أَلَمْ يَأْنِ لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَن تَخْشَعَ قُلُوبُهُمْ لِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ. Hasn't the time come yet for the believers that their hearts pay heed and feel humility to the words of Allah? Hasn't that time come yet? And the words shook him and grabbed his heart. And he was moved deep inside. It hit a chord. He started thinking about these words and he forgot the main reason why he came to this house. And the only response that was on his tongue, his spontaneous response was, Bala ya Rabbi qad an. Indeed, my Lord, the time has come. And that moment he changed. So he went out of his house, roaming aimlessly, contemplating his life, contemplating his past, his behavior, his reputation, and his future, and his relationship with Allah. He ended up with a group of people who gathered together and they lit a fire, and there were travelers, strangers. He asked their permission to join them. He sat with them, and they were disputing whether to spend the night there or to carry on their journey. And one of them
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back. I guess we have Sister Mubarak from United Arab Emirates on the line. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum.
Hello?
Yes, assalamu alaikum, Sister Mubarak. Go ahead.
Yeah, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Please mute your TV.
Now you can hear me?
Yes.
Okay, it's regarding the gold. Zakat against the gold. The gold that I'm wearing, but I have some gold that I don't wear more than 1 year. What is the hukum for that?
Okay, got your question. Thank you, Sister Mubarak. All right. Brother Sayyid from Oman had a second question about wearing a watch which has some gold. He says it's in the interior. So he said it's something that's not seen. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam have informed us with no doubt that gold is absolutely forbidden for men to wear. It's permissible for women to wear any amount, but for men it's not permissible to wear gold whatsoever. Even gold-plated items. It's not permissible to use a gold-plated pin or watch or the frame for your glasses. This is not permissible for men. The vast majority of the fuqaha said even if it is something insignificant, as long as it is gold, whether it's a watch or any other item, for men it's forbidden. Some of the Shafi'i school scholars with the Shafi'i school of thought differentiated with regards to the insignificant amount. They say that if it is something like hidden and scratchable, yani if you try to remove it, it can be removed. You cannot wear it even if it is hidden. But if it is something like plating an item within the watch, for instance, and it is not detachable and it's insignificant, that is permissible. My question is that when I know that the vast majority of the fuqaha have agreed that even if it's something insignificant, whether detachable or not detachable or any, why do you risk it? Because the Prophet ﷺ says that whoever will wear it here will not wear it on the hereafter in paradise. So we should avoid anything that have any doubts, as the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam judged this case before when he said, "دع ما يريبك إلى ما لا يريبك." Normally people wear gold to show off, right? and that's why it is forbidden mainly for men. So why would you wear something which is hidden and it is also forbidden? There is no benefit whatsoever. You can give this watch to your wife and you can purchase yourself an ordinary watch which doesn't have any gold. Jazakallahu khairan. Assalamu alaikum. Zaid from United Arab Emirates. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you, Sheikh?
I'm just fine. Thank you for asking, Sister Zaid. Welcome to the program.
Shukran. I just want to ask my question that 2 days I asked you about softwares to work in hotels, to sell, and the company which they are selling in hotels, software. I am just an accountant. I'm not a programmer or designer. I'm just an accountant only to count the money and writing the invoices only.
Okay.
So is my income halal?
And the invoices include liquor, wine, and whole which serves haram. If that is included, then this segment is haram. The rest is halal and the segment is haram.
And my second question is about to attending the halakha in masjid while in a state in my period.
No.
So should I attend the halakha in masjid?
Well, if the masjid has a designated area for ladies which is not a part of the masjid, most of the masajid do like that. They keep a room separate from the masjid. So you can sit in this room, but entering the masjid for a person who's in a state of janaba, whether it's a male or a female, is forbidden. And with regards to the female during the menses, this is the opinion of the vast majority of the fuqaha, that it is not permissible for a junub to enter the masjid. Allah the Almighty says, وَلَا جُنُبًا إِلَّا عَابِرِي سَبِيلٍ حَتَّى تَغْتَسِلُوا. Assalamu alaikum. Sister Asiya from the KSA.
Alaikum assalam rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Oh Allah, accept all your ibadah and do good deeds.
Ameen. Same to you, Sister Asiya, and your blessed family. May Allah accept from all of us.
Ameen. Jazakallah khair. I have one question. Can one make a niyyah of i'tikaf once he enter for the Qiyamul Layl in the masjid and then exit from it? Can one do that? I have just a question.
Okay. Thank you, Sister Asiya. I, in fact, advise that every time you enter the masjid, especially for a long stay, Isha, Taraweeh, and Tahajjud, also double your reward by making an intention of staying in the masjid with i'tikaf. Because there is no minimum for i'tikaf. It doesn't have to be a certain number of hours, no certain number of days. So if you enter the masjid and you know that you're staying for some time, Isha, Taraweeh, and Tahajjud, why don't you also intend doing i'tikaf? Jazakallahu khairan, Sister Asiya. Sister Mubarak from United Arab Emirates. According to Imam Abu Hanifa, you have to pay zakah on all your jewelry. So you estimate how much you have, whether you wear it or you don't wear it, and you pay zakah on the entire amount. In the case of the other scholars, and the vast majority, which is Imam Shafi'i wa Malik wa Ahmad, they differentiated. So in the case of the gold, which is you're having for saving, that is definitely zakatable. But what you wear on regular basis, you don't pay zakah on that. And I believe that you guys remember every time I come across this mas'ala, I say I feel very comfy with the opinion of Imam Abu Hanifa. May Allah have mercy on him in this regard, because of the references. The hadith of the woman who walked on the Prophet ﷺ, and she had a girl wearing bracelets of gold, and he said, do you pay zakah on that? And she said, no. He said, that will be your share of hell. So she was wearing already the bracelets of gold, and the Prophet ﷺ said to Aisha radiallahu anha, likewise, as she have made and was wearing some silver rings. Sister Farhana, your question about the witr prayer, can you pray witr 1 rak'ah? Yes, the minimum is 1 rak'ah. It is worth of mentioning here that according to Imam Abu Hanifa, that you cannot pray one rak'ah by itself, you have to pray even before it. Her fourth question is about her husband and son who do not pray on regular basis. May Allah guide them to Islam. May Allah make them regular in their prayer. And there is a beautiful dua that Prophet Ibrahim ﷺ have invoked Allah with in Surah Ibrahim, chapter number 14, verse number 40. When Ibrahim ﷺ said, رَبِّ جَعَلْنِي مُقِيمَ الصَّلَاةِ وَمِنْ ذُرِّيَّتِي رَبَّنَا وَتَقَبَّلْ دُعَاء. This is a supplication to the point. رَبِّ جَعَلْنِي مُقِيمَ الصَّلَاةِ وَمِنْ ذُرِّيَّتِي رَبَّنَا وَتَقَبَّلْ دُعَاء. I love this dua, this prayer, because it doesn't say, oh Allah, make me amongst those who pray. No, مُقِيمَ الصَّلَاةِ. And the command of Allah in the Quran is, وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ. He doesn't say pray, he say أقيموا, يعني establish the prayer. Pray properly, pray with the proper tahara, pray while fulfilling the prerequisites and the conditions of the tahara and of the salah, and with the full khushu'. قَدْ أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ الَّذِينَ هُمْ فِي صَلَاتِهِمْ خَاشِعُونَ. And pray on time. إِنَّ الصَّلَاةَ كَانَتْ عَلَى الْمُؤْمِنِينَ كِتَابًا مَوْقُوتًا. So the term إِقَامَةُ الصَّلَاة is a very comprehensive term, and it is by no mean near even, or nothing is near to it, such as offer the prayer. No, أقيموا الصلاة, establish the prayer. So we say, رَبِّ جَعَلْنِي مُقِيمَ الصَّلَاةِ وَمِنْ ذُرِّيَّتِي. My Lord, make me amongst those who establish the prayer, and amongst my offspring, make my offspring likewise. رَبَّنَا وَتَقَبَّلْ دُعَاء. Our Lord, accept our dua. This is similar to saying Ameen. We had Brother Saeed from United Arab Emirates, and his question is very important. عروض التجارة, that he sells big machines, big or small, or items he has purchased for resale. And he said that he heard my answer to the question earlier, that these items which are prepared for sale and you purchase them with this intention are zakatable. His question is, on which value? The value of the purchase or the value of the sale? It is actually the value of the resale, the price of selling this item. Not only that, it depends on how do you sell it. If you are a wholesaler, so it will be the value of the wholesale. If you are a retailer, then it will be a retail sale value. Nowadays, it's an easy process, especially with the programs and editing and auditing programs, that you can figure out, if you are a pharmacist, how many items, how many medication in your pharmacy, and how much is the value of the resale value. Then you pay the zakah on the current value of today's value. Like if somebody walked in and asked you for an item, how much would you sell it for? This is the amount which is considered in calculating the zakah, not the amount of the purchase. Because now what you have, those items are simply money, if you cash them into money. So the right of the poor in your wealth, including عروض التجارة and the items which are prepared for sale, is ربع العشر, or 2.5%. His other comment was that some of these machines stay for more than a year to sell. So does he have to pay the zakah on the value annually, or only when he sells them? No, annually, because you purchase them with the intention of resale. And I want to share with you the fact that paying this zakah, which is a minimal amount, 2.5%, would guarantee the blessing of Allah the Almighty in your wealth, the profit, and the quick selling of your items, prosperity, and to be safe and secure from any harm, especially concerning your investment. Why? Because you have given Allah His right. You have given the poor the rights, and even extra if you can. May Allah bless you all, brothers and sisters. Alhamdulillah, we came to answer all the questions today. And until tomorrow, I leave you all in the care of Allah. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك، نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت، نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم، والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test. Allah is my heart's speech, your mercy is what I beseech.